Yo, this is for you. I am my number one fan. For you, this is for you. I am my number one fan. For you, yo, this is for you. I am my number one fan. For you, I am my number one fan. I'm trying to get you from here to there. I'm trying to show niggas it ain't fair. How I just came up, but you not there. Stuck in the same situation you been in. They got the plug, you got the sound. You not just a groupie that's hanging around. They got the stage, but you bring the lights. It's enough room at the top, we ain't gotta fight.
What's up, y'all? What's up? This is Reese.
This is Arnold.
And yo, we got our number one fan with us today.
Yes, we do.
Dawn!
What's going on, neighbors? NayborsPodcast. What's going on?
Yo, we know you're always in the wind somewhere. What's up with that? Why are you always out somewhere? Like you got some places to be?
Yes. My parents always said don't let the grass grow under your feet, so I got to keep it moving, people.
So in case y'all don't know, this young lady, she's always shouting us out, spelling out our name like, people are hooked on phonics, and we appreciate that. We appreciate that. You get what I mean? But she's also the very first person that commented on our show. Mm-hmm. But she did not comment like we asked y'all to comment. She commented to our face.
Exactly.
And on top of that, she was like, Negro, if you don't get your, I just felt a little small. And her and some of her friends from across the country, not like they're right here next to us,
right.
had a whole lot to say. But we appreciate again, y'all know that Arnold and I are true neighbors. Mm-hmm. Dawn and the two of us, all of us, are true neighbors.
Right.
Yes, neighbors. Yes. Yes.
In the literal sense, not figuratively, but literally. So, go ahead, Dawn. What you guys say?
No, I was going to say it gets down in the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah, pretty much.
I mean?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
We're about to turn this neighborhood out.
Exactly.
So in that very first episode, we talked about our feelings about the military, our experiences, so forth and so on. So in this particular episode, as y'all well know, today is Veterans Day.
Mm-hmm.
So just so happened we have two veterans on this podcast today.
Hoorah, hoorah.
Listen to her. Listen, do you have to go there? Do you hear her?
Yes.
Next thing you know, you're going to be talking about Simplify.
So I just want to thank both of you for your service and your contribution to our freedoms and liberties and things like that.
Mine's is a little older than hers. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And most of everybody knows how I feel about that. Go ahead, Dawn.
Yeah, but it's all the same though. Whether you served 20 years ago or
right.
World War I, if you're still around,
right.
blessed to be still around. You served.
Yeah.
So,
right.
There you go.
But Dawn, I just want to ask one quick question. Can a grunt beat a jarhead?
Hello. You know what I mean? Hello. Yes. I'm asked that question all the time.
That's an old question. It's been around for centuries.
Yeah.
Yes. The real question is, will Army beat Navy again this year? That's all I'm saying.
Well, listen, Army, them boys play pretty good down there, especially when they come here in the hometown and play.
Exactly.
They really show off down there, and I think the Army has the most wins right now.
Yes, well, Navy beat us for a couple of like it was a Eagles situation.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We don't want to have that conversation.
Yeah, please, let's not. I will hurt feelings.
Why? Because everybody knows you're a Redskins fan.
No, I'm a Cowboys fan.
Oh.
What about them Cowboys?
Yeah, they lucked up.
That's another conversation, y'all. Y'all not ready.
They lucked up. That was a gift.
Yeah, right.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, funny. Shout out to all branches of the military.
Exactly.
Shout out to all branches. Shout out to all.
That's right. As Reese is looking up that stat on the Army and Navy game, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe that the Army has the most wins.
No, I thought it was Navy. Maybe I'm mistaken myself. But I know for a while there they were beating Army for quite some time. Trust me, I was hearing it from all ends. And then all of a sudden, the one time I got invited to go to the game, it was here in Philly. I think 3 years ago or 2 years ago. I turned it down, and that's the one that we won, and we started on our winning streak.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're trying to find out now.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I found real quick, and this was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just telling me
No.
every game. All I see is each game and who won each game. I'm not gonna count all these.
Yeah, but it says the Navy has the longest winning streak.
Yeah,
So
they
far,
do.
they have
do.
the longest winning streak, and
Right.
let me see. The Navy won 14 Army and Navy games in a row from 2002 to 2015, which gives them the longest winning streak in the history of the series. Then on December 10th, 2016, Army snapped its 14-game losing streak and beat Navy 21-17.
Yeah. So, but the all-time series is Navy 60-52.
Yeah.
And it's 7 ties. So
7 ties. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So that's good. It's good. It's all right.
That's good. We on our winning streak right now, so we're good.
Exactly.
My jersey this
Exactly.
year. Yes, I got my jersey this year, so I'm good.
wow.
So, Dawn, tell us what's going on with you.
Well, I'm always in the streets.
Yeah, we know.
We
We
have
see.
something going on.
Mhm.
Yeah, so right now, I'm gearing up for a surprise party for my son. So I'm all over the place.
Oh, that's
talking
right.
to
Yeah,
actors.
he's great. Turn a
Yeah.
quarter.
A whole quarter.
Yep.
A whole quarter. You know what I mean? A whole quarter. So this is a young man that's doing some positive things.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Adding to the universe, I like to call it, instead of taking away.
Right.
And, he's never asked me for anything. Like, this is the type of child that as he was growing up, I was going to say I was growing up, but as he was growing up, he would never ask for nothing. I would be like, I would be the one to be like, don't you want this? Don't you want that?
Mm.
And I would just get it for him.
Right.
So he has taken what I've given him about education, right?
Right.
That it's very important to be a young black man in this world. You need to be educated. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You need to have something under your belt. However that is. That doesn't mean you have to have a degree, but some form of education, some form of knowledge that cannot be taken away from you.
Right.
So he's now in his master's program.
Nice.
He's doing some great things. So I just wanted to, honor my son with a party. You know what I mean?
What's your son's name again?
Draylon.
Draylon. Okay.
Draylon. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he's an actor, entrepreneur. Like, he is just doing it. You know what I mean? He has my get up and go, if you will.
Mhm.
And the boy always doing something. I'm like, you doing that too?
That's
He's
good.
like, you did
That's
it, Mom.
good.
Why can't I? So,
Oh, wow.
I shout out to him. And I want to also add, I hear people often say that a single mother cannot raise a man. Well, I beg to differ.
Well,
You know
I
what I
think
mean?
you did a
I
good
think-
job because we see him around the
Thank you,
neighborhood,
sir.
so you did a very good job.
You know what I mean?
So, you know.
Yes, sir. No, ma'am, you. And you know
That's
what I mean?
right.
That whole thing. So I beg to differ. I do believe that it takes a village. Don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? In the neighborhood.
Mhm.
But definitely, we can't, NAYBORS, but we can't discount these women out here or these single fathers.
Exactly.
Give it up to the single
Exactly.
fathers.
That's right.
That's
That's
out
right.
there doing it, the grandmoms. Because I remember, Arnold, you talked about, your grandmother.
Mhm.
Oh, my God. So what you guys don't know is that Arnold and my family and Arnold's family had a connection since 1994.
Yeah, it hasn't
Arnold's
been 94
grandmother- 94.
Yeah.
94, 94, 95.
Mhm.
94. Yeah, because I had my son in 94, and I heard the name Miss Cleo. I'm like, the chick from television? You know what I mean? I'm like, what?
Call me later now.
Yes. But when I first met Miss Cleo,
Mhm.
Arnold's grandmom, that woman has been meant and still means so much to me and to my family. that she was our family. She was my grandma, if you will. You know what I mean? And became a mom to my sister. That's a whole nother story. Like my sister Darlene would say, that's Montel, a whole nother show. But no, so I didn't know that right down the street in my neighborhood, NayborsPodcast, that she kept telling me my grandson lived in Focross. Really?
Yeah.
And then one day, I was filling up the hole in the back driveway, and these two gentlemen come in. First Arnold said, "You need any help?" And I think it was you, Reese. I'm not sure.
No, that was my cousin's husband, Hank. Yeah.
Two brothers came down the street and helped us out because I was in there filling the hole. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you was
singing my old military song like "We gonna fill this hole." You know what I mean? And they came down as as neighbors should and helped out their fellow neighbors. You know what I mean? And lo and behold, that was Miss Cleo's grandson.
Ain't that something?
It's just amazing.
Yeah. And she used to always tell me that. She used to always say, Darlene's sister lives somewhere on this street. Yes. And I was like, Grandma, you don't know where she lived. Because my grandma was like 90-something telling me this. So I'm like, I don't think you know where she lived at. She says, no, she lives on this block. And it was just so amazing how this is how for those of us that believe that the powers may be, this is how small the world is for one. Yes, and this is how God connects everybody. We're so close to each other, and we should see each other. We used to speak before the whole incident, just briefly. But after that, we went down and helped you out and everything. And then a few days later, we found out that who you were, and I was like, "That's her." And I was like, "Oh, this is crazy," but it was so great. I was so happy that I finally got a chance to, because I haven't had a chance to meet you then. I knew your mother, I knew your father, I knew your sister, and I knew your niece and them. So I haven't got a chance to meet you. But it was just so happy. I'm so glad that you in our lives, and listen to Reese. And I'm so glad that you are the neighbor's #1 fan.
Yes, I am, because NayborsPodcast.
Exactly.
Here's the backstory on why I spell it out. Because, as you guys know, I did a shout out on my Facebook Live that I do, and I'm all like proud to announce the Neighbors Podcast. I did it so wrong; it was horrible. And I was like, you know what? From now on, I will never mess that up. Because
That's right.
You know what I mean? And while I have a chance, if you don't mind, guys, the one thing I love about this platform, this show, the foundation of it all is bringing neighbors together, people together.
Right.
It blows my mind that, I have to say, I love living in Focross. I really, truly do. Because I have neighbors that look out for each other. Right? I got neighbors right next door to me. I got neighbors like you guys down the street from me. I can go to Miller's Diner and eat there. And then go, look, 2 doors down, nails done. It's like a whole community of people that if anything pops off, like when my mom passed away, those same individuals were like, Dawn, are you okay? You know what I mean?
Right.
And you don't have that. To me, it's like, this is the last of the old school neighborhoods. It feels like to me, because I have other people like, whoa, did you just ask your neighbor, did you need any help? Yeah, like, why not?
Yeah,
right.
You know what I mean? I just think that, I really applaud you two brothers for doing this, because a lot of times the information that is carried on, don't make me get into my bag, y'all. And in the slavery days, knowledge was passed on by, the neighbors. So I'm saying the neighbors, which is the slaves, you know what I mean?
Right,
they would pass on information. So I love the fact that, you guys have this platform to just, if it's on my mind and I'm not really saying nothing, like the last topic, we talked about the gentleman making the decision to hug the other woman. You know what I mean? That was in my mind, but I never voiced it out until you said something, and that made me speak on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I really do applaud what you're doing. I really do. Even
Thank
if you're
you.
talking about, bubble gum or the shoestrings on the line outside. You know what I mean?
And see, and the thing is that there's a younger generation, they don't understand that, and we're whether they're like, yo, we hip hop. Well, y'all don't understand the real origin of that and why those shoes are on on the wire or
Right.
whatever. You get what I mean? You know, so
Ooh, yes.
you know, and
Yeah.
and even with the topics that we bring up, there's a lot of information that we bring up that's not really being taught in school.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And there's some things where we have to like, yo, let's make sure we do our own research. You know, so just like we
Right.
could do the research, everybody else could do the research too.
That's right.
Right.
You know, we
Right.
all need to be aware of what's going on. See, I remember in high school for myself, I had to watch Eyes on the Prize.
Yeah.
You know,
Ooh, yes.
you
yes.
know, so
Showing his age, right?
you know, so and so that being my homework, you know, once a week is like I learned so much about our culture
Right.
that's being
Right.
lost and not spoke about. And that does not necessarily mean, hey, you know, just because you're black. No, it's the culture of America
Exactly.
or as a
Right.
whole.
Exactly.
As you said, as we're talking about,
Exactly.
it's the neighborhood, you know, and
Yes.
it's interesting how, you know, you got all these school districts all of a sudden trying to find a way of putting this African American studies in schools, you know, as a curriculum, and it's a lot of school
Right.
districts that are denying it. They are
Wow.
approving. I don't know if it's Colorado. I can't remember which one it is out there out west, but they approve a curriculum for the Holocaust, but they cannot
Wow.
approve the curriculum for African American studies.
Wow.
So that,
But you know what?
Mhm.
I'm sorry. But you know what, though? My parents did not wait for the school to teach me. My
Right.
parents taught me. You know what I mean? So if we can't learn about our culture ourselves and then spread that to the kids, we can't wait for the school system to catch up to it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I mean,
Oh no, it makes total
It's
sense.
it's unfortunate, but you know that goes again to where are we having conversations with, you know, who's sitting with their grandmother right now having that conversation?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? My father's still here. We're still
well,
blessed to have my father. But
can I
are
ask
the
you a
grand
question?
and the-
Dawn,
Yes,
let me.
sir.
I'm sorry, real quick. How much older is your grandmother though than you?
Oh, she passed.
No.
my
Here's the reason
She
I'm
was
asking.
90.
Because remember,
Yeah.
we had a show a couple months ago, where we talked about the grandmama's only like 3 years older than the grandchild. So how much information?
Right. You're right. You're right.
You know, so you know, not just
You're right. You're right.
you know, so
Yeah,
but
that's true.
and that does not necessarily mean literal age, but figuratively, they're trying to stay young as possible and not
Right.
having the education.
Right.
We
right.
joked about it for.
They so busy learning about what we should look like from the Kardashians who are copying our look. Let's talk
Right.
now. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So,
Right.
you know, if you really want to learn about the culture, you know, you know what? I get where you're coming from because I was going to say something, but if we had more information out there, like shows out there, you know, that would capture the youth, but the youth are busy being youth out there making families and things like that.
Well,
So
I think the shows that where they're trying to show the youth is things like growing up hip hop.
Right.
You know,
Oh, Lord.
so when you're watching shows like that, all right, you're still showing bratty kids that have
right.
money.
Right.
You know,
right,
so
right,
that's how their lifestyle is still not everyday life.
right.
They're not
true.
quite the 1%, but they're close enough where they are being excused for some of their habits. And even on top of that, what people don't understand in that reality TV is still scripted.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You know, so
Yes, it is.
they have to understand, like, hey, even though it looks like they're getting away with some real dumb stuff, they really aren't.
Right.
No, they're
It's
not.
part of the script.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And you can usually tell when there's a scripted scene by the way they act,
Right,
because most of these
Right,
people are not
right.
actors.
right.
You know, they're trying to be actors. They're trying to portray something that some of them are not, and some of them are like this for real. But they
Right,
go
right.
overboard with it, you know. But speaking of acting, and I hate to change subjects, but I'm gonna shift gears for a little bit right here.
Right.
I had seen a clip of this beautiful actress who portrayed this heroin addict on this movie
Yeah.
called Heroin the film. And her portrayal, I mean, like, her acting was so superb. You really thought that she was high off of heroin. I mean, like, wow. So tell us about how the process for you to go through that and to get yourself into that type of role.
Wow. So shout out to Rico Salam, who was the creator director of the film Heroin the Film. He wrote a book that just took me away, like, whoa. And I immediately, first of all, I come from corporate America, you know, although I'm a vet, corporate America. So I was like, yeah, I want to play Deb, the heroin addict. And he was like, what? Like, no, all right, whatever. He was like, no, whatever. So, you know, he had these auditions, but it was like months before he had the auditions. In that time, he didn't know I had a background in acting. So at that time, I knew I had to do some research and find out what's going on with the heroin addicts today versus what I know about back in the day. Back in the day, it was rare to see somebody leaning and nodding somewhere. You know what I mean? When I was growing up. So what I did, I went out to Kensington. Yeah, the Badlands. And I went out there like, hi, I'm in a film, and can you show me how to get high? And here's some money, and I'll wait. And, of course, they didn't come back, right? So I was like, well, I got to change this up. So I went back again and did it differently. And the result of that was for me to have these conversations with these heroin addicts. Too often than not, you know, people will look at a heroin addict or anyone that's on drugs and say, oh, you know, they did that to themselves.
Right.
You have veterans, fellow veterans, who have gone through more than you guys would imagine, right? Just so you can sleep good at night, who's thrown back out into society. We can come back to that. And are on pain pills. But now, as you all know, you know, it's been proven that, you know, the narcotics of it all can easily lead to heroin addiction. So I heard some of those stories. I heard stories of this young lady who she became addicted to heroin because her parents were addicted to heroin and they wanted her to shut up. So there you go.
Wow.
They gave her the drugs. You know, the mom pimped out. Well, let's shoot her up. And there you go. So it was a lot of different things. And some people admitted to, I started with weed. I went to this. I went to this. I went to that. You know, it was horror stories like that. I had a neighbor in our neighborhood who overdosed 4 times.
Wow.
And yeah. And shout out to her because she's been clean for 6 years now, doing phenomenally. And it was the book that Rico Salam wrote. I let her read it because she is very intelligent. So she loves to read. Even during her addiction, she would read. But when I brought him to her house so she can meet him, I believe, in addition to other things, allowed her to turn the other leaf, which she was actually there at the showing, right? At the premiere of it. And the reason why he changed the movie to Heroin the movie, because I gave him those stories of these individuals. Right. So if you recall, in the beginning and the end of the movie, you have real life addicts talking about their struggle, right? So what you see in my character Deb, her backstory, which you would only know in the book and not in the movie, is that she was a sister just like me, corporate America, working, her husband worked, never went on vacation, and just started to go on vacation. They went away to Vegas, and one little incident, boom. Her husband came back, and she stayed into chasing that dragon, or dog food, as they call it. Right. And that was her story. So you got a glimpse of her in deep engrossed in her addiction, and you didn't know who she was before then. Because let's face it, these people, although they walking around like zombies, they are people, right? You know, so there you go.
It was good. I mean, it was a good portrayal. I mean, like you were very convincing.
Thank you.
You're very convincing on that. Yep.
So, are you ready to do a major motion film yet, or you think or you got to take more baby steps?
I definitely am. I've been acting for years. It's just that, I work also. So as a single mom, all right, I got out the service, loved acting while I was in there because, you have your different opportunities that you can make. And then when I got out, I went to college and was acting, but then I had this fork in the road, you know what I mean? I have a love for acting, but I also have a love for recruitment, which is what I do, and also putting food on the table. So, I did my acting gigs here and there, so I did perform at the Philadelphia Shakespeare Festival and did other theater productions. So, it's definitely something that I would love to do in the future, in the near future. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just so happened the gentleman, and I'm not sure what his role was with your movie though, but his name is Q, and he's actually my barber. So I just want to give a shout out with Q with Quintessential Cuts in Glen Olden, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so that's his barber name. That's his barber shop owner name.
Right.
Rico Salam is the yeah. So shout out to. That's my boy right there. Let me tell you.
Yeah. So it was just so. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Did he tell you about when I came in for the audition? They was looking like, what the hell?
No.
Yeah, I came in. Yeah, I was trying to sell roach spray. I ain't care. I did the whole, people were in there doing like Shakespeare. I did the monologue, like, let's do it. Like, I'm dead. And they were shocked, like, whoa. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want it, you got to work to get it. So,
That's right.
There you
That's
go.
right.
That's all I wanted to throw that out there.
So as I talked to him as they're, cutting my hair and we, just busting it up in there, we're always trying to talk about something positive,
Right.
and making a difference in somebody's life. But it was just interesting how he said, when you was going to the nail salon and I'm sitting in the barbershop and I'm like, what's up, neighbor? And he was like, yo, she was in my movie, right? I'm like, I didn't know she was. So, so it was just kind of like, it was just a shock to see that connection. When people say it's 6 degrees of separation, that's true.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is.
That's true.
Yes, it is. It truly is. It truly is.
But, I really enjoyed it. And it's good to see and hear putting out a true story, and not just, hey, something I made up and, whatever it might have been. Like you did your due diligence. So those that are up and coming actors and actresses and whatever, you got to put your work in for whatever you're trying to do.
Yes, most definitely.
Most definitely. So we appreciate you, our number one fan.
Thank you. NayborsPodcast.
Exactly.
And it's just it's interesting that we're coming to the end of season number 1. Season number 2 will be coming back up in February of 2020. So, but we appreciate you in our first season. Being our first comment, our first critic, but our first true supporter, and you are ending off our season as our number one fan, ending off our season as our last official interview or guest.
Aww, I appreciate y'all having me. Thank you so much. I'm in these streets.
Yeah, we know. That's the only way we could catch up to you because you're always out there.
Exactly.
So is there anything that you want to shout out? We were supposed to get into the whole veterans thing, but we got to pay bills, man. You know how that go.
Yeah.
But,
so I think that's the next invite for me to come back.
Oh,
of course. Always. You're always welcome. You know that.
Yeah, this is not going to be the last. But, we got to, if y'all don't know, Dawn got her own stuff coming out there. We're trying to do a collab, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. But is there anything you want to let anybody to know? You want them to follow you on anything? You want them to go buy the movie? You get your royalties? Like, what's up?
Well, it's Heroin the Film, Rico Salam, so check that out. Facebook, I'm Dawn Goar, Goar. I'll be on YouTube. My YouTube channel will be up soon. You can follow me on Facebook. because I do periodic Facebook lives and just talk about things that's going on and try to spread some positive vibes out there, you know, in the community. Always striving for people to do something for themselves, because a lot of times we forget ourselves. Because if you ain't taking care of you, how you gonna take care of everybody else?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just try to spread the love and even spread things about what I'm doing and what's going on in my life, because none of us are perfect, you know.
Right.
But that's it. Yes.
Well, Dawn, we appreciate you.
Always. And I like to take this opportunity, Dawn, to tell you, to tell your son happy birthday and happy belated birthday, actually. And
yeah.
Congratulations on all that he has been doing.
Right.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, he's another one that's always in his car. We see him in passing. You get what I mean?
He's always on the go.
So
he got to keep it moving.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so y'all have no grass. Y'all have no grass.
Literally. Yeah, exactly.
So we really appreciate you. I mean, a lot.
Yeah.
You know, we've taken in consideration some of the things you've said. You know, good, bad, or indifferent.
Right. Yeah. Because I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, right. And for all your friends that are haters, quote unquote, it's like, no, I'm joking.
Yeah.
But we appreciate them too.
Shout out to Alicia, retired Army, 29 years. She's in Florida. Shout out to Jamie. Jamie's in Oklahoma. That's my girl. That's my Army sisters right there. And Sergeant Morrison. Yeah, Sergeant Morrison doing his thing.
Nice.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
No shout out to a special someone in your life?
We're going to keep that quiet. So, Dawn, Dawn, we're going to bypass that, okay? We're just going to let that go by, all right?
Look, I'm going to shout out to the love of my life, my fellow Cowboy fan. Let me just say that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that is so vague, but so on point. We appreciate that.
Yes.
All right, y'all. We love y'all. And
you know what that time is. We got to pay some bills.
Yep.
We get out here and make some money.
All right, Dawn. Right. We talk to you later.
All right. Yeah.
All right, Dawn. Have a good one, all right?
All right. Peace.
Peace.
You are the agent and we look for change. You conquered the pressure and you did not fall, but you are a diamond and worth more than gold.